Have you heard of a climate cafe? I just learned about this concept recently. I went to a training about how to host a climate cafe. I learned that I'm going to read off Wikipedia here actually. Climate cafes are inspired by the concept of death cafes. A death cafe is a scheduled nonprofit get together for the purpose of talking about death over food and drink, usually tea and cake. Basically, what you do in a climate cafe is you talk about the climate crisis. A lot of people bring their feelings of anxiety or grief or joy, potentially, inspiration, possibility. Any feeling is welcome in a climate cafe. What's interesting is they make a really big point that the goal is not to change in any way how anybody's feeling about it. It's just to hold the space and allow people to be present with what they're feeling about it. I think that's really powerful because for me, one of the things I noticed as I get more involved in the work of solving the climate crisis is that there's this balance between feeling and action that happens. Before I got involved in any kind of action, it was just all feeling. The balance was tipped way over to the feeling side. In fact, there was so much feeling, so much depth of anxiety and fear about my future and the future of my loved ones that it almost like tipped into this paralysis. I couldn't act because there was such a depth of feeling. Now, sometimes what happens because I feel so passionately about this issue, because I want to do everything, is that there's almost a tip in the opposite direction about, and the balance goes the other way, more into action than is maybe healthy and less, I'm almost avoidant of the feelings. What I found really powerful about the Climate Cafe is that I think for me, I can imagine if I put myself back into that space where there was almost so much feeling that it felt paralyzing. I feel like being able to express emotion in a container like that would have been really powerful for me back then. I'm really glad that this is a thing. I also feel that now, as I tip more into the action side of this pendulum, that it is a really powerful thing to be encouraged to enter back into that feeling space a little bit gently, because one of the things I read this week was, for example, one of the things that caused me grief this week was there was a humpback whale calf that washed up and was beached on the coast in Oregon. After like 45 hours, it had to be humanely euthanized. It was not able to get back into the ocean. That was a really sad thing to read on the news that I witnessed through the eyes of the media. It would have been nice to be able to bring that to the Climate Cafe, even though it's not directly climate related. It's like nature and ecology. I'm thinking about potentially hosting some climate cafes. I don't know how, I don't know when. If this is something you'd be interested in, please let me know. Take care.